answering the big question, what is the best wheel material for mountain biking? Probably more specifically enduro racing. The test bike is going to be my kind of mid-spec Canyon Spectral, which you can check out the review here if you want to see that first. But James is running some Bontrager carbon wheels on his Common Cell Meta AM29, and we're going to chuck them on my bike today. We're going to put my heavy alloy wheels on his bike, and then we're going to test the ultimate theory. Is carbon on the rear and alloy on the front the dream wheel material? Holy sh**. Compliance in the front, snappy in the rear. I'm more than likely going to be wrong, but we're going to test it all. And this track here, Grim Creeper, is our chosen testing arena. Got some, oh, sick line. Got some, woo! Hell yeah, boy.
Oh my god, that was all the money.
So today we're doing wheel testing.
Yeah. Here we go. So, just done a couple laps. Now it's time to swap the wheels. So we're going to go full carbon setup on Finn's bike, as he's used to alloy. And I'm going to put his full alloy wheel set on my bike. Luckily we both have the same dropout sizes, same rotor sizes, same number of speeds. We will be mixing Shimano and SRAM.
Oh, someone's going to be mad about that.
Yeah. At least you actually have grease in your axle.
I just re-greased everything on my bike.
Potentially not ideal. Ah yeah, there we go.
Turns out the clearance in the caliper and the rear is a bit low on mine, so James's 203 rotor compared to my 200mm was rubbing on the body of the caliper. We have noticed that James's rotors are potentially a little bit thinner than mine, maybe after a lot of braking in Austria over the summer, so I'm just trying to get, I don't know, I'm getting a decent bite, but it's like the pads and the rotors just don't really gel that much. Let's do it. Oh. Ah. So narrow along here. It's quite gnarly. Ah.
I can definitely feel the weight already, but they do keep their rotational speed going. Whoa. Alright, yeah, once you're up to speed they're alright, but just hopping out of the corners.
Okay, I'm noticing maybe not quite as much difference as I expected. Oh. I think you can notice the stiffness from the front wheel. Like through that some stuff. But that's kind of the main thing. Out here punching the GoPro. Bloody hell. Ah.
absolute monster truck. So heavy.
Oh my good God. So where are we?
We're at the top of Hidden Trail in RP Mountain Bike Park, which we both haven't ridden this in probably over a year.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But it's at least the fixed section. The first section's super straight and super rooty. You can just blast it and get a feel for that vertical compliance.
Big man with the big words. Lighting's lovely though, looking very handsome.
Thanks, man.
Alright, so we need to do some talking about what we're actually feeling on the trails. The thing I noticed the most about the carbon wheels was not actually what I expected, it was the feeling in the air. That was the first thing that really stood out to me. I think with the slightly less rotational mass, it really can just be maneuvered in the air so much easier. I'm not even really talking about the ability to do whips and that sort of thing. It does definitely help with that, but it's more the ability to change the angle of the bike coming into a landing or just kind of tweak it in the air to get the right line and that sort of thing. And even on small hops in the trail, you really notice the way you can get off the ground and change the angle of the bike to maybe get into a corner easier. So it's really quite interesting. I definitely noticed that a lot more than just the feel riding over that kind of chunk on the trail, you know, roots and all that sort of stuff.
Oh, sick.
I was saying this to James the other day, when I watch his GoPros, the front end of his bike just looks really light. Like he just rips mad bar tweaks and it just moves around everywhere. I think you can kind of see that more in my riding now compared to the alloy wheels. Fundamentally, it does just come down to the way we ride. And as I've said before, I'm a fairly large quantity of human in all the ways that aren't ideal. And James here is one missed meal away from not waking up in the morning. Oh, that is savage. So yeah, in general, I ride quite heavy, he rides quite light. But I feel like swapping these wheels, what you see through the GoPro kind of looks a little bit closer together in the middle in terms of the way we ride. So that was quite interesting to see. We both agreed in terms of riding through tech that the alloy wheels were stiffer than we were expecting and the carbon wheels were less stiff, but like in a good way. You know, they kind of met in closer towards a like happy middle ground of compliance and comfort, but the carbon wheels just do it in a way lighter package. We are going to follow up this video with a trip probably to Skyline or maybe in the Redwoods, just to rip some berms and try get a bit of an idea of that rear wheel stiffness, because I don't think we're really able to capture that in this video so well, because RP ain't got many good berms. So make sure you drop a subscribe and like for that, and we'll go rip some berms apart in a respectful manner. I do absolutely love the high engagement of these hubs compared to my DT Swiss with the 18 tooth ratchet. These are the Bontrager Rapid Drive 108 hubs with, as you would guess, 108 points of engagement. They have a lovely buzzy sound and yeah, just the really consistent, snappy engagement when you crank to get up a bit of a pinch climb, or you know, even on the trail where you need to crank to pull yourself up over something to like get into a hop. It just feels so much better. You don't get in there that like boom sound when like a low engagement hub like slips and then hits. So yeah, I think James noticed that as well, and he's about to do some climbing on trail mix because we split up to do some different trails, and he talks a bit about that. So
the one thing I loved about my carbon wheels was how good they were on the little pinch climbs and just the acceleration with the higher engagement free hub and just the stiffness all around. So I thought we'd see how these alloy ones go. The big Heifers. I know they're not going to be as good, but I just want to see how not as good.
Oh, I love this one. It's one of my favourite tracks. Whoa! But the Grom's been up too.
So now we'll see how the descent is. Oh God, that's a rough start. Trying Finn's full alloy setup was actually quite a surprise for me. I've ridden quite a few alloy wheels in the past before I got my Bontragers, and you know, they're all kind of the same. They were quite flexy, you get a bit of a dead feeling, and they wouldn't really give you much positivity through jumps. I felt that these rims didn't give me the flex or the resonance that I expected. They actually held their own pretty darn well. Oh, yeah, just feel kind of dead on the roots. Not necessarily a bad thing. The only thing I really noticed, was the weight. Most sections that I was riding, I could tell that I had a decent amount more rotational inertia. Somehow there's still a really decent amount of pop from them though. So yeah, that extra weight did come with its own, I guess, pros and cons. Oh, that's slippery. So once they were up to speed, they wanted to keep rolling more and they wanted to pull me through all the rough stuff. However, out of corners, I really had to try a lot harder to continue that speed through the corner, and I had to pedal a lot harder out of the corners than I was used to. So it was kind of... On the jumps, they actually gave me a lot more support and pop off the takeoff. Yeah, a lot more than I expected, but they definitely were not as playful as my carbon wheels. They were harder to throw around in the air. They just wanted to go straight and hold their line. So if you're into having a bit of fun and getting a bit sideways, this was something you had to fight against. However, this could be seen as a good thing if you're maybe a more beginner rider learning to jump and just wanted something to get you over the jump safely without doing anything crazy. On the lap that I did by myself, that's when I really noticed the more dead feeling compared to the carbons. Like on that first straight, I had to pedal quite hard to get any sort of speed up, and then dropping down into that right-hand corner, there just wasn't the acceleration and I guess feedback that I was used to getting from the carbon wheels. I just pumped down into the corner and it just kind of sluggishly rolled out. Like that resonance that you can often get and is often associated with an alloy, I didn't really feel it. That's usually supposed to be quite a fatiguing thing and something that carbon is much better at handling and getting rid of. But at least on these descents, I didn't notice that at all, but maybe I just wasn't riding for long enough. I've just finished a long session testing the wheels that we're not used to. So Finn's been on the carbon ones, I've been on the alloy ones, which was pretty eye-opening, I think, for both of us, especially for your wheels. They were quite different to how I thought they would be. They were better than I thought they would be. But the one thing we've been really curious about is if mixing the wheels is actually going to be the best solution. Can we get the best of both worlds from having maybe an alloy front wheel and a carbon back wheel? So we're thinking maybe we still get the compliance and the momentum, I guess, from the front wheel, but the stiffness and snappiness to just push into the corners and snap out of the corners a bit better with a carbon rear wheel. So I'm just going to swap just the back wheels now so that I can get my carbon back wheel back onto my bike. Alright.
See you in a minute.
See you in a bit. Dropping into our test track. Alloy front wheel, carbon rear. What? Oh. Oh. Wow, that was interesting. Whew. All right, back to the jumps. Now when I had full alloy wheel set, Finn's wheel set, they popped surprisingly better than I thought. So we'll see how this goes. Might be a bit easier to get a bit sideways and have a bit more fun if the rear end's a bit lighter, but the front end still carries me through. Oh yeah, I could throw that a bit. Wow. Oh wow, the lighter weight on the back makes a huge difference. That was night and day. That made a lot more noticeable difference than just riding the rough tech stuff. Yo.
Yeah.
I didn't really stop.
How was that?
That was sick. It was good.
Yeah?
It was made a difference.
Okay.
Carbon back is good.
Carbon back is good.
Good chucko big on the jumps.
Should we go get something to drink and eat and then think about it?
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, no thinking at the moment.
No.
I am mega half-assing this outro here because my camera gear is packed away from shooting a music video. I've got a cold, I can't be bothered getting it all out and setting up the lights, so this is what you're getting today. Me and James were chatting about what we thought about the wheels, and then he was saying what he felt about the mixed wheel setup, and we kind of came to the conclusion that this test was kind of inconclusive. We needed to test them on high-speed berms and jumps. So being that it is Crankworx week, when you're watching this, Soapstyle's probably just finished. Emil's probably just won. That's probably going to age terribly. Skyline will be running in absolute mint condition now, I'd imagine, or it'll be worn out, but perfect time for us to get out there this coming week and put the wheels to the test again. So subscribe, like. This video is getting really long, so I'm just going to wrap it up. Thank you for watching, and catch you next time.